Hi. All right, week 10. We've got our big lab exam. So let's talk about that one first, and then we'll go over the rest of it later. Skeletal lab exam is this week. That's what we were going to meet in person to do. So Group A, you'll be here Monday. Group B, you'll be here on Wednesday. Regular days of the week. The only difference as far as when it's going to be is we are going to meet at 8:30. I was in the lab most of Thursday afternoon. I had to come back up on Friday, and I'm 99% done with the lab test. That makes it sound terrible that it takes that long to set up. It's just having to write the key and like put the stickers where they need to be. So anyway, don't let that scare you. But I'm almost done, but I'm going to have to come in early Monday and finish everything up just a little bit. So that'll give me time to get everything done, and y'all won't just be waiting on me to start. All right, so 8:30. And you were going to meet in room 114. That is the room that we take our exams in. So just go in there. I know it hadn't been that long since we've had a test. So if you remember where you sat during the test, if you'll just sit there. If not, I'm going to have probably like some Post-its on the desk just to make sure everyone's spaced out, and you'll just sit wherever there's a Post-it. But anyway, go in that room, and then right before the test, I'll come in and I'll have a few like final instructions and tips and things to look for. So you get a little extra time on Monday or Wednesday morning. Be here at 8:30. Okay. Let's see. The test, I know I had said it was probably going to be around 60 or 70 questions. Here's the thing is that we covered so many things. I counted, and on that bones list, it was like 200. I think it was very close to 200 things that we covered. So I didn't want to feel like you've studied all of these and we spent all this time learning these and you didn't have to know most of them. So it ended up being 78 questions. I'm not going to lie, it might have been longer, but the new lab room we have, there's not as much room as the old one in Browder. So that's like literally as many as I could fit in there and keeping us spaced out the way we need to be. So 78 questions. There are 3 questions per station, and I can't do the math right now. 26 stations is what that would come to, what that would end up being. So 3 questions per station. It is timed, but don't let the time limit scare you. You're going to have a minute and a half per station. That's way more time than you need. What I'm probably going to do, because what always happens is during the test, I say you've got a minute and a half, and everyone's just kind of standing there waiting. So what I'm going to get you to do is once you're done answering, if you'll like fold your answer sheet up, and once I see that everybody's done, we can move a little bit faster. So don't let that time limit scare you, but just make sure that you're here on time. If you come in late, you're not going to have as much time to finish the test as everybody else. You will also get a chance after you're done answering all the questions. So we're going to go in order around the room. Once you're done answering all the questions, you'll have a chance to go back and like check your answers if you need to. So don't let that scare you either. If you answer a question and then 5 minutes later you realize you meant to put something else, you'll get a chance at the end to go back and double check anything that you need to. All right. I think that's got it. Let me look. Last reminder, we don't have a word bank for this. I know I've said that all throughout the semester, but you have to know the names. If you are watching this like early in the weekend and you've got some time between now and the test, feel free to spend that time working on spelling too. All right, you can get your list, look at the names of the bones like zygomatic, temporal process, go through all of those markings, and then just put your list away, grab a scrap sheet of paper, and try to spell the names right. That's something that you can do even if you don't have the models in front of you. Remember, too, you got a lot of resources. If you go over to the Lab Content tab, then you can look at the labeled images. There is a PowerPoint where the names of the bones are covered up, and every time you click it, it's going to take away one of those boxes and show you what the right answer was. So that's a really good way for you to quiz yourself. I've got videos that I recorded from my online class where I go through the models and show you everything on your list. So take advantage of that. Lastly, on Connect, remember your Connect access that you have for the semester. There's something called the Practice Atlas where it's got they're very similar to the models we have in class. And you can go through and click and identify the different parts of the bones. All right. So that's the big one. Prepare for that. No matter which day, Monday or Wednesday, what I would do the beginning of the week, just make sure you're studying for the lab test. And then when you're done with that, we can look at what else we have this semester, or this week, sorry. So the other thing you need to do this week is we're going to start on chapter 9, which is the muscular system. If you remember the bones, the skeletal system, I split that lecture up into 2 parts. So part 1 was like all the background information and the cellular structure of bones. And then part 2 is when we went through and we named all the bones and talked about bone markings. That's really similar to how this test is, or this lecture is going to be. Part 1 is mostly background information. There's something called the cross bridge cycle that's in part 1, and I would pay some special attention to that. And then part 2, that'll be next week. That's when we're going to go through and start naming muscles. Okay, so really similar to the way that we handled the bones. Just when you are done with the test, the lab test, then you can switch over and start doing that lecture material. There's also a Learn Smart assignment for Chapter 9. So the points are a little different. I don't know if you noticed this, but usually there's like 3 points for one Learn Smart, and then there's 3 points for another Learn Smart. The joint chapter that we did last week, it was really short. So that Learn Smart was only worth 2 points, and it was less questions. The muscles, that's going to be worth 4 points because there's 2 parts. There's a lot more material that we go through in there. So if you'll do the Learn Smart assignment for the muscles, you can get 4 bonus points for your next lecture exam. All right. I think that's got it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you all when we take the bones test.